Hello guys, welcome back. A little bit of bonus material since it is still Yule. We found Sugar Cube. She's alive, she's safe, we found Sugar Cube. Okay, let me explain. If you're a Wiccan in America, one of the things certain writers do, and this is why Wiccans get a lot of heat, is they will sometimes take her tradition that they think has died out, and to try to keep it alive, they'll move it to a different holiday. So for Samhain, there's a horse we call Sugar Cube. I call her Sugar Cube. Look, he's just looking at me really hyper right now. And she's this skeleton horse. All the Welsh people are like, oh no. And she was moved to Samhain because in the book I had, the tradition had died out. Died out completely, and they knew it was from Wales, but they didn't know much more than it was a skeleton horse because this book was written back in the 80s or something. And the tradition has apparently recently been rediscovered in Wales, and it's the Mary Lloyd. And we were screeching and jumping around because I'm like, oh my god, it's Sugar Cube! It's Sugar Cube! She's alive! She's alive! So then I had to go learn Sugar Cube's tradition. I mean, the Mary Lloyd. I had to go learn her tradition, and I listened to this song about her, and I'm like, it's so sad. And her tradition's really sad. We don't have the ancient pagan tradition, though. You take one look at this horse that comes around in, during wassailing or whenever, or Yule or what have you. And you can tell she's a goddess. It was a horse's skull, and they would drape the character in white, and she would go around this mare, and they have a challenge. She will sing songs, and she will sing jests and rude things at the people of the house or the pub. And she has to defeat them. She has to ritually defeat them in combat. They have to lose, and then they're like, okay, come in, come have a drink and everything. She's so beautiful, guys. She's so pretty, and I'm like, it's Sugar Cube. Because Wiccans, if you don't know, we do a lot of meditation. And so in one year, I did this meditation, and I saw this skeleton horse, and she was very curious, and she's coming forward, and she's nosing me, and she was telling me I'm out at the wrong time of year. Why are you calling me now? But she didn't seem to mind, and I never really saw her after that. I'd see like brief glimpses, but I really wouldn't see her too much, and I would think, oh, that's just my imagination. But she's like, yeah, it was nice and everything. You went to church, but remember me and come hear my song. And we found a song on her, and it was the saddest song. I mean, we went from her being in a pub, and the actor playing her is dancing all around, and she's opening her mouth and clapping at people and everything, and she's beautiful. No, obviously this song is newer, but this one song was about, she was in the stable when Mary was coming in. And she's this goddess, and she's pregnant with her colt. She needs to give birth to her colt, and she's ready to drop her colt. And they drug her outside into the cold so that Mary could have her baby. So you have one divinity replacing another, but she's never died, and she keeps looking for a place to have her colt, which is why we have tradition. I know, it's like the damn saddest story in the world, and I'm like, no, baby, we'll build you a stable. Come home. But we were so happy. I'm like, oh my god, that's Sugar Cube! That's Sugar Cube! And we have a tradition in America of, skeleton horses for Halloween, and people will, like, not even know where it's from. They're like, oh, it's like England, it's like a hobby horse or something. It's like they don't even know where it's from. Don't blame us. Americans try, we just don't try very hard. And I'm like, oh my god, her name's Mary Lloyd, she's so pretty! I just want to hug her and kiss her and pet her and feed her sugar cubes and love her to death. And yeah, we're adopting her. So we went on to Amazon to see if there's like all this Mary Lloyd swag, because there has to be, right? There wasn't a single thing. There's something called a flat pack that these people are trying to revive tradition have, and there's actually a video on YouTube of how to use their flat pack that you can get, so that if you're trying to teach tradition in Wales or wherever you'd be trying to teach it, because I'm sure this is not coming to America, a horse's skull that you decorate and then parade around and sing songs to, that's not going to fly in American schools. But it was so beautiful, and she's so pretty, and you should see the little flat pack. It's like, you make it all of paper or construction stuff, and then like you have this horse skull, and she goes around and she claps her little mouth, and you know has eyeballs, and she's so pretty. We want her. And before you say, well, that's the weirdest tradition I ever heard of, I hope as a Lokean you know at least one horse goddess, because if you don't, I'm gonna have to personally come hurt you. Remember, Loki is goddess, and she, as a divine mare, gave birth. Am I losing anyone here? I hope not. And we have to remember that we have horses in a sacred edition. In a lot of our traditions, for the Greek people, it would be Poseidon with creating the horses, all the waves. Mary comes from, like the same root word as sea, and it means mare or sea, or, what have you. So, it was really good to see Sugar Cube again, and I think that was the pagan gods answering. They were like, yeah, you did the service to your friend. She kind of knows you're not interested in ever going to church again. Now we're going to show you the Mary Lloyd, because you've been wondering about her in the back of your head off and on for years, thinking, I wonder where that horsey came from, and vaguely got this idea that she was just curious, like, one, why in the hell was anyone from America calling on her? And two, didn't I know who she was? And she seemed intelligent and curious and stuff like that. No, that's a thing. Is the Mary Lloyd ever seen in Wales as this independent goddess character? Probably not. I'm guessing. I'm not from Wales, so forgive me if you are, but it was interesting that she showed up. It was interesting that something showed up, because they were like speculating it could be a form of goddess, so to, try meditation, what could it hurt? And that's what had shown up. And she seemed very curious. Like, why was I calling her so in? And why was an American calling her? And did I have an apple, since she is a horse? And all this other stuff that I'm remembering. But it was neat, because I don't know if anybody in Wales, like a practicing pagan in Wales, could do that and get anything to happen. Because if you grew up with the belief, you might be like, oh, that would be like praying for Santa Claus or the Lucky Charms leprechaun to appear in your circle. It's never going to happen. So I don't know what appeared. It might have not been the Mary Lloyd. Sugar Cube might just been a willing goddess. God knows, could have been Loki. But it was interesting, and I'm just in love with her, and I want to wrap my arms around her neck and hug her and kiss the pretty horsey, because she's a horsey, and she's the prettiest horsey in the world. And she's just beautiful, guys. She's so pretty. I will give you a link to one of the videos. There are a ton of Mary Lloyd videos. Please, as a Lokean, only watch the respectful ones, because most Americans are dumbasses about everything. But, as a pagan, you have to try to be respectful. Just because it's not your tradition is not cool to sit there and go, ha ha ha, you people are stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that as a viewer of this channel, please. So you'll find a link below to one of the Mary Lloyd videos, and it's really cool. And I was like, Sugar Cube! Baby Sugar Cube, it's her! So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.